Hey, what's up, guys? Sandy. I'm trying to think of how I can make intros to these that doesn't require video editing because I don't know how to do that. So maybe I will do it old-fashioned way, and every time before, I will have a record come across the screen like that. What? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I realize mine are kind of boring compared to some other people's. Um, I had made a video about lots I had picked up on eBay, and part of it was too negative, so I decided to remake it. So this is me remaking that video that I had promised about a week ago. So I'm back from travel, and so I probably won't have as many pickups, but I did find some lots on eBay, and I grabbed some stuff at San Francisco, and I went and met up with a dude who was selling a bunch of stuff out of his house here in Austin and picked up some cool records. The first, I had talked about this Kinks lot, not King Slut, which is what it sounds like when I say it. This was the main record I got from that. I got a bunch of their 70s and 80s stuff, but the one that was really exciting for me, and I'm going to turn the music down, the one that was really exciting for me was a near mint. I mean, this is almost unplayed, in shrink, U.S. mono first pressing of Face to Face. So that was an upgrade copy for me, and I've already passed along the my other copy. So that's cool. I love that record. I think I almost have all the Kinks now because I also got all their 70s and 80s stuff in that lot, and it was a nice cheap lot, so I was really happy for it. Another lot I picked up was like 40 records, and I got it for just 2 originally. The 2 that I was aiming to get out of that lot. This is a really, really perfect copy of Training In, John Coltrane with the Red Garland Trio. This, of course, is not the first pressing because the first pressing wasn't called Training In. It was just called, I think, Coltrane with the Red Garland Trio. It's got the original inner sleeve, Prestige, New Jazz releases on the Bergenfield, New Jersey label. The record looks at least VG plus, maybe even better. It's a little crackly. I think it might have been sitting in a basement for some time. So I'm gonna hit it with some cleaner at some point once I get some free time. So Trading In, that was part of a lot with about 60 records. Also in that lot, the other one that I was trying to get was Delightful Lee by Lee Morgan. So this is a first pressing. Of course, it's on Liberty because that's the right one for that. It's a later pressing for. It's a later release for Lee Morgan. I love the pun on his name, Delightful Lee. It's like if you guys ever saw that show Community. The Dean character was always doing stuff like that. So if he released that album, it would be Dean Lightful. And if they did it together, it would be Dean Lightful Lee, I guess. Puns. But also, I sold off most of that lot already. Dropped it off. A lot of it was kind of rock stuff that I wasn't too interested in. But they also had first pressing Gabor Szabo. My wife likes the kind of gypsy guitar that's on mono impulse. Today and Now, Coleman Hawkins Quartet on impulse. This is second pressing stereo, RBG in the dead wax. Shirley Scott, Hip Twist. Man, I never listened to Shirley Scott. This is super funky. Turrentine on sax on that. That's a first pressing of that one. I don't know how you say this dude's name. Terry? Ripto? Waves? ECM? Not my favorite, but I decided to keep it. I don't know if I'll keep it long term. I think I've said this before. Something about the way ECM is recorded bugs me. I find the cymbals to sound really artificial with ECM. I don't know why. I just don't like the way they sound. Some of the music I like, but the drum sounds and the cymbal sounds are too sizzly for me. And then this, I have no idea what this is. I haven't even listened to it yet. Buddy Childers Quintet. This is some kind of jazz on Liberty Records. This is like maybe the heaviest vinyl I've ever. I mean, it's heavy. It's got to be 200 grams or more. If you just look at it, you could probably tell how it's like. See how thick that is? This is super heavy. Deep groove. If anybody knows anything about this, let me know. I haven't gotten around to listening to it yet, but that's the kind of record that End of an Ear, the place where I sell records mostly, I don't think they'd really be interested in it anyway, and the people who go in there are mostly interested in rock, so no-name jazz that even I don't know, it might be a little cheesy for all I know. The cover looks silly. It's got like a little laughing gesture. Who knows? So I kept it. And then also, Tough Guys, Isaac Hayes. I love that cover, man. Gatefold. Oh shoot, I can't get the gatefold open. Gatefold with shots from the movie. That's pretty badass. Oh, and there he is with a gun shooting you in the back. Okay. So that was a lot, and that one was really successful because I got 2 records I really wanted. I was really excited about the Coltrane and the Morgan, the Lee Morgan, and everything was in really great shape. So that's perfect. I sell off the ones I don't want, end up getting some records essentially for free. The other lot, and this one I was so excited about. The person had a whole, this was a lot of 70 records I think that I bought, and I have a stack here of the stuff that's in good enough shape or is interesting enough to warrant showing or keeping and trying to salvage, because some of them are in such bad shape. This one was one of the best shape ones. This is Dexter Gordon. This is a later Prestige on the Fantasy green label, if you can see it. They all have Lynn on them, so somebody named Lynn was collecting these. This has Van Gelder. That one was cool. The covers on most of these are completely trash, and I knew that buying it. Okay, so don't try to judge the covers here. A couple McCoy Tyner later records on Blue Note, Time for Tyner. Man, Blue Note really fell off. How did they go from having such awesome, iconic covers to such just completely boring, uninteresting? You just pass those records by because they don't look like anything. The vinyl on this is pretty good. I didn't have any Pharoah Sanders actually, which I don't know why I didn't have it, but I just didn't. This is I didn't know you say Thembi. That's our. I don't remember if that has Van Gelder in it or not. This is cool. Cover is just trash completely, but you guys know how I love my Eric Dolphy. This is a first pressing of this record on the blue Trident label. It's got some feelable scratches, so it's VG, and it needs to get washed. But it's mono, so no fake stereo, which I hate, and it's got RVG on it. So hopefully I can salvage that one. At least the record, the cover is completely toast, but hopefully I can salvage that. Other ones in that lot. Okay, some Lou Donaldson, Mr. Shingling. That's actually in pretty good shape. I don't love these Lou Donaldson funky records, but maybe other people do. I can't remember if this is a division of Liberty, which it should be, and it does have the Van Gelder, so that I'm guessing that's first pressing of that record. One of my local shops had this for a super high price, in better condition than this, but I don't see it fetching anything much because I don't think people are collecting that very much. But who knows? Some second, third, essentially United Artists pressings and Liberty pressings of older Blue Notes. Stylings of silver. This one still had shrink, so it survived whatever crazy water damage the rest of them got. It's on the Blue Note, the blue with white B label. Wahoo Duke Pearson. This is also, if I remember correctly, oh no, this is on the older label, Liberty, but no Van Gelder on that one. So that's United Artists after they already got their engineers to take a shot at Rudy's work. So, essentially, I always prefer first pressings, right? But if it has the RVG, I might keep a second pressing. Otherwise, I get rid of them. A couple other ones here that are just completely trashed. I won't even show them. Here's the Heartbreaker. This is one of the. There are two Heartbreakers in this lot. Okay, guys, two that the reasons I bought the lot. I thought I was gonna get something so awesome. First one, A Night at Birdland, second volume. I have the first volume from a year ago. 2 years ago maybe even. I bought a lot, and I just completely lucked out, and I got a near mint first pressing, or volume 1. And this is original pressing on Lexington, but where is it? It has a radial scratch that I just don't think is going to play through. I might try it on a junk, on one of my Denons that's due for a retipping anyway, but I would be very afraid to play that record with a stylus I cared about. So that was a heartbreaker. God, it sucks when you see that. A record that's so cool, but is destroyed. The second one, this is a mono pressing, Out to Lunch. It's Liberty, but still it's a mono pressing, and I don't have a mono of this. The vinyl, you can even see it, I think, even in my bad light. I don't know if you guys can see it. Essentially, it has a level of caked-in dirt that I have never seen on a record, and this is after a full wash. My only hope is maybe trying the wood glue method. I've heard that can really extract ingrained dirt, but I've never tried it. Because that's a shame. I think if it could be clean to the point of not having all that dirt in it, it would still be a crackly listen, but it would be, you could listen to it. It'd be okay. It'd be VG minus. Okay, so I'm sounding negative. The first one I was only negative, so I want to bring this up a bit, okay? Because yeah, I paid for records that were described to be in great condition, and none of them are in great condition. So I hassled the person, and I got a rebate for some of what I paid. Not as much as I would have liked, but you gamble, right? And you get burned sometimes. But I want to bring out the positive because I found a couple of records I had never listened to before, and these ones are actually the ones that are in the best shape of the whole lot in terms of the vinyl. So the first one, I never listened to this, but it's got Bernard Purdie on it, and I love Bernard Purdie. Puccio and the Latin Soul Brothers, Jungle Fire. Okay, it's a bit beat up on the back on the sleeve, but it's the original pressing on Prestige Trident, RVG in the dead wax, VG condition, and I never listened to that music before, and it's especially the first track, first side is so badass. Definitely, if you haven't listened to that song, let's see, that song is called, second track, side A, Got Myself a Good Man. That is an awesome track. Awesome track. Another one that I had never listened to before, I didn't even notice it was in the lot, but then I got it and I tried everything on that looked cool. Harold Alexander, Sunshine Man on Flying Dutchman, the blue swirly label. That is front to back awesome. the second side, first song, which is called, what's it called? Mama Soul. Mama Soul is like this freak out, free spiritual thing with like this screaming singing. It's not really scatting, but it's like nonsense singing. It's so good. It is so good. So definitely, I'm sure everybody else knows about that, but I didn't know about it. So by buying this random lot, I found that record, and I really like it. And then another one I didn't know, but I listened to, and it's amazing, is Rudolph Johnson, The Second Coming. There he is playing up on a mountain. Badass. Again, it's like kind of spiritual-ish. I don't know exactly how to describe it. I call everything post-bop, but other people call stuff spiritual, so I don't know exactly how people want to call it. But it doesn't have like a choir on it. That's what whenever I hear choir, I think spiritual. But whatever you want to call it, it's pretty badass. So yeah, I didn't get the records. The records that I bought I bought that lot to get turned out to be big disappointments. But I got 3 that were not, and 3 that I'd never heard of before. So, and now I like them a lot, and I'm now searching for the first Rudolph Johnson and the other Harold Alexander records. So, hey, look on the bright side, right? So that's cool. Okay, and then I was in San Francisco. This is going to be a long update. You guys can, I'm going to put little things so people can skip around. I was in San Francisco. Didn't find much, actually, because San Francisco is such an expensive city. But I did pick up this Archie Shepp, which I didn't have. Things Have Got to Change. This is on the ABC Rainbow Impulse label. I haven't gotten around to listen to it yet. Van Gelder and the Dead Wax. I know I'm going to like it, so I just grabbed it. The place I went to do most of my hunting was called Groove Merchant, which I think is one of the best shops in San Francisco. But of course I was there right after the holidays, and I think they were pretty picked over, so I didn't find too much. But I got that, and I also got this Chick Corea Sundance record. It's got Jack DeJohnette and Woody Shaw on it. I love those guys both, so I grabbed it. I also went to Amoeba. Didn't find much in Amoeba. Again, I'm there like right after the holidays, so I'm sure everything is just picked over. But I did see this, which I've recently gotten into John Hicks. So this is John Hicks with in a trio format. So I grabbed that like $10. Idris Muhammad on drums. Yeah, you gotta get that. If you guys haven't listened to John Hicks, I'm sure most of you guys have, but anyone who hasn't, get Hell's Bells, man. That is so good. That's one of the ones that my advisor from undergrad gave me, but I think it didn't make it into that video because I had it on the turntable. Bud Powell on Mainstream. I'm always covering the prices. You can't see him. That was from Jack's Record Basement or something. I also grabbed this Soul record, Soul Shake, Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson. I just listened to that at the shop and liked it, so I grabbed it. Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I'm from originally, so that's cool. And I got a couple 45s. I usually don't collect 45s, but they had Bubble Puppies, Sassafras, something in Sassafras, and they had a Lee Hazelwood that I wanted. So I grabbed a couple of 45s while I was in San Francisco. But, you know, relative to the record buying I've been doing on trips, San Fran was a relative bust. There was one other, but I don't have it. I got a copy of The Magnificent Charlie Parker. So that's pretty good, but I don't have it over with me. And then finally, I got back and I saw on Craigslist a dude who was selling a bunch of records. He's had like 1,000 records, and he said expect jazz, R&B, hip-hop. And I got there, and really he should have put expect hip-hop. He was a DJ or something, and he had tons and tons of hip hop, which I just don't know anything about. So I don't collect it. I like some hip hop, but if you don't know, it's weird to just buy a whole bunch. Um, for me at least, because I don't have enough space. But he did have some jazz and some R&B and stuff, and I grabbed 3 records from him. The first one I grabbed was the best. Roy Brooks, The Free Slave. So it has Cecil McBee, Woody Shaw, my kind of guys. It's a live date on Muse. So it's got the Muse label, the blue one. I think they had a couple different music. Anyway, I'm running out of time, so I should just stop blabbing. That's badass. That song, Free Slave, the title track. That's so good. So good, guys. Got to get it. He was kind of hardballing me, actually, on the price for this. It seemed like he was kind of on the fence about selling it. So I ended up getting him to throw in a couple of extras for the price he wanted. So this was one of the other ones that he had. He had 2 copies of this, and one of them was in better shape, the vinyl. The other was in better shape for the cover, so I asked him if I could mix and match, and he let me. So this is Gil Scott-Heron, Brian Jackson, Winter in America. Yeah, this is cool stuff on Strata East. As you can see, Strata East on that one. That's one of the more common Strata East records, I think. I've seen it before, I just didn't pick it up because it was too expensive. But because he and I were going back and forth, I got him to throw that on there. And then another mainstream release, this is Blue Mitchell, Blues Blues. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be, like Blue Mitchell stuff is kind of funky, tending towards the more soulful jazz. So that's what I'm guessing it's going to be, but haven't listened to it yet. All right, so that's a big stack of records. There are others that didn't make it over here. Some, and again, a lot of these lots, I'm getting like 60 records and I sell them. I saw all but 2 or 3. So, yeah, I'm gonna lay low for a little bit in terms of buying. But I have a couple of videos I want to make talking about stuff that I've picked up and hadn't really absorbed. And then maybe I'm going to try to figure out a way to take the needle drops that I do. Well, I record the whole albums and post them on here and maybe like have like a little intro where I talk about it a little bit, what I think about it. And then I'll just let you guys hear the whole album because a lot of this stuff, of course, is no longer in print, and who knows who owns the copyright. So probably I won't get in too much trouble for posting it. Okay, well, I'll see you guys. This is Andy again. Talk to you later.